Thank you, Mr. Barua, for sharing your experience. Now, our next question is also part of your experience, which we were informed that you were appointed as a publicity ambassador back in 2016, March 14th, during one of the events of HWPL. Now, if you can share with us, how was it for you and what does it mean to you?
After meeting that HWPL member in our temple, I already had one positive idea about the HWPL. After 2 or 3 months, I had some invitation from Korea to join their next conference, peace conference. At that time, I told one lady, she was Miss Swan Kim. She used to work in IPYG. So she invited me. I told her that I'm a very small person in a small town. I'm not so big. I'm not a big political leader. Why do you think that I am so important? Then Swan Kim told me that maybe you are not a big political leader. Maybe you are just a simple person, but the way you think is very important for us. Your thinking is very much needed for us because you can help us to go further for world peace. So after that, I went to Korea and I couldn't believe that all the members of Busan Group and especially IPYG, they took me so seriously and took out a person who was slept inside me, a seed of peace, what was hidden inside my heart. I didn't know about that, but they discovered it. IPYG team has discovered the seed of peace inside my heart. And after going to Korea, they took it out and they planted it and it became a tree. And from that moment, they told me that please work with us. And after working with them some days, they thought that maybe I would be important for world peace. I can work for world peace. I can make little change. So they made me peace ambassador. I'm so much grateful to these people.
Thank you, Mr. Barua. I think the explanation that Ms. Swan gave to you to explain to you why you matter for the work of peace, about your heart towards peace and how she valued that heart, I think that was the core message. Thank you once again for sharing. Now, our next question is really somewhat related to this heart towards peace, which is about peace education. Now, we were informed that you were able to teach the peace education, some portion of it, to the school before COVID-19. Is this true and how was it?
The whole book actually we have printed, and I myself is one of the member of organizing committee of one school. So school management committee. I went to the school and talked with all teachers. There also I explained them about the importance of peace education program, and we took it. The headmaster also helped me, and we have printed that book. But after that, the COVID started, so we couldn't start our class. And hope from December we can start the class once again.
Thank you, sir. Now, you looked into this curriculum of peace education. What was the most important message that you took from the curriculum and what was most memorable?
In Bangladesh or Indian subcontinent, actually, religion is the most difficult part, what people doesn't want to sacrifice with, or people doesn't want to communicate with each other, because each and every people thinks their religion is great, and slowly they grows ego inside their heart that without this religion they cannot have salvation. But this book is very important, and if you go through this book, you'll find something which will talk about good things of each and every religion, and it helps you to honor, to respect others' feelings, others' religion, and that's how it can change small children's. It can change elders also. And actually, this book is really a wonderful book. It has so many things that can change, that can bring positive feelings to small children. And when a child will read this book in future, nobody can show them wrong path. Nobody can take them in destructive work, because they already educate themselves from this book, and they know which is good, which is bad, which is white, which is black. So they have already grown their ability to justify good, the difference between good and bad. So that's why I believe this book is very important. And that's why I wanted to work with this book.
Thank you, Mr. Barua. As you have mentioned that you work also on a managing committee of a school, which I understand why you see the education to the young students are so important. But what about from the perspective of a parent? Do you have any children? How many do you have?
I have one daughter. She's 11 years old. So it is very important, because each and every father wants their daughter or wants their son to be happy in life. So if a daughter or a son becomes educated in peace education, so they are very much happy, because they already knows that their children will not face any difficulties in future, and nobody can motivate them in any kind of destructive work. You see, in Pakistan, people use small boys to carry guns. People use small boys to carry bombs one place to another by giving them small chocolates or by giving them candies. Even in USA, there are some bad person who does negative attitude with the small children by giving them small gifts. But if they have this kind of education, and if these children's already taught in such education, they wouldn't do such things, even for a chocolate, even for a candy, or even for a money. So being a father, I always want to see my child's bright future. I don't want my daughter to die in a bullet on the street. So I always want their better future. And that's why I also tell my daughter about peace education program. Whenever I sit with my daughter, I try to teach her from that book. It is very important. Even for every father, it is very important to teach their children about peace education program. It will make their life very, very secure, yes, and very happy.
Thank you, Mr. Barua. I'm sure your daughter is very proud of you as a person who's so devoted for the work of peace, and also very eager to give her the messages that will secure her life in the future. Thank you again. Now, our next question is about that we were also informed that you have received an award from Chairman of HWPL back in 2016 at one of the event led by IPYG. Now, do you remember this award, and can you explain us to a little bit about this award?
That award is, would you allow me to carry it here?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the award box. So HWPL is written here, and oh, it's beautiful.
Sure it is.
Beautiful. Yes, it's beautiful. And if I bring it out, and it says plaque of appreciation. Plaque of appreciation. Yeah. It's the award. The award is hereby presented to Mr. Brahmanda Pratap Barua Ripon in recognition of outstanding contribution to spreading a culture of peace and advocating the declaration of peace and cessation of war. I was also one of the peace advocate. Yes. So, and 18th September 2017. Manheli. Yeah.
Was it awarded directly from the chairman of HWPL?
Yes.
If you could explain a little bit more about this award and how and why you were able to receive, and also what it was for you to receive this award at the Scenery.
It was a wonderful moment for me. Actually, I didn't know. It came to me as a surprise. I thought that the program will be just an ordinary program in a conference, or they would want me to tell something about world peace or like this, or they would like to ask me about the recent activities in Bangladesh. But after going there, I found myself that there is a award giving ceremony. So when I went to that ceremony as a guest, I had no idea that they are also going to give me a surprise. And she was also there, present there, and they gave me the award. I was really surprised, and it gave me such an honor in front of many, many people. They gave me huge round of applause, and it was really a day to remember. I won't forget that day. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I think it still lives in your memory very lively, sir. Once again, I, from my personal point of view, from all the stories that you have shared me today, I think you deserve very much for this award, and I think you're doing a great job for as a peace advocate, as it is described on the award and a plaque. Thank you again for sharing your experience.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sir, now it seems quite clear that HWPL has put quite an impact on your life. And if you could explain to us, how did it impacted your life?
Very much. Because after knowing HWPL, my lifestyle was different. I used to think as a normal person that I would live happily myself, kind of selfish, like each and every other people. But after I went to Korea, after I came to know our chairman Manhili, and after I listened to many world leaders speaking in that occasion, I came to know that it is also my duty to think about others. Being selfish is not the life. If you cannot do anything for others in your life, even if you cannot plant a tree to give shade to other people, even if you cannot plant a tree to give fruit to a bird, you have done nothing for this world. If you plant a tree, that plant will give oxygen to many people. It will give fruit to birds. It will give shelter to many people. So it's just a tree, and you can plant thousands of trees, and that's how you can make thousands of people, thousands of beings, thousands of birds happy. So if you work for world peace, you can make the entire world happy. Also make yourself happy. So whenever you work for world peace, whenever you even think of doing something good for others, it will make you happy. So that's why my life has changed. And now I'm just one of the member of HWPL. I think myself as one of the servant of the people of the world. I can do anything for world peace. And I really respect my chairman, Mr. Manhili, only because of his thinking, only because of his education, the way he thinks, the way he taught us, and the way he gives his legacy to each one of us. Yes, it is very important. I have a request. I want to make one warp office in Chittagong. In Bangladesh, we have two big cities, Dhaka and Chittagong, and then Sylhet and Khulna, many other cities. But I want to make one warp office in Chittagong because it is very important to tell people of Chittagong about our HWPL. There are so many boys, so many young girls, and so many people who really needs to learn about DPCW and work for HWPL. So that's why I would like to request IPYG and HWPL to give me permission to open warp office in Chittagong. Yeah, Chittagong is very important place.
And if you have a chance to speak with them, what would be the message that you would want to deliver to them?
World peace is the only hope of humanity left today. All of us have imagined ourselves living in peace and harmony. We all want a world where there is no war, no racism, no terrorism, and no violence. Unfortunately, no area of this world is safe from the advanced destructive weapons. That is difficult for one country to solve them. such as global warming. One country cannot solve global warming alone. We have wastage of natural resources. Natural resources very important for all of us. We cannot prevent war alone. This world has seen so many wars, terrorism and violence till now. It wouldn't be wrong to say if all the countries do not decide to live in peace and sort out their difficulties, then very soon deadly weapons which every country possesses will wipe out and destroy the whole civilization. That's why we need to follow DPCW very strongly. We need to preach DPCW to all the world political leaders so that they follow the DPCW. We need to take these DPCWs to United Nations also, so that United Nations makes this DPCW to one of their part, so that all the member countries of United Nations follows it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Barua, for being with us today. And even with the last message that you wanted to deliver to the audience of this interview was very, very meaningful. And I'm sure it will touch many audiences today. And knowing that there is a person who is devoted and determined to the work of peace and believing in the work of peace for our future generation was very motivational for me as well. Thank you once again for the Working for World Peace, and thank you once again for being with us today. Have a lovely day.